They say the greatest wars aren't fought on battlefields, but in bedrooms, phones, and silent minds. Lust doesn't arrive with a warning, it slips in quietly, stealing focus, energy, and self-worth. But here's the truth, this enemy can be defeated, and in the next 8 minutes you'll learn how. Lust matters because it's not just about temptation. It reshapes how a person sees others, how they value themselves, and how they interact with the world. For many, it feels like an endless trap, a loop of desire and regret. But chains can be broken. History, faith, and science agree, change is possible. Lust feeds on secrecy. It thrives when no one is watching. That's why shame feels so heavy. Shame says, you're alone in this. But you're not. Millions face the same struggle, and millions have also overcome it. The first step is honesty. Without honesty, the fight never begins. Honesty shines a light on what was hidden. It breaks the illusion that no one understands. When spoken aloud, the burden starts to lift. Secrets lose power when they are shared in safe places. Even telling yourself the truth out loud changes the weight of it. Some begin with journaling, others with prayer, others with a trusted friend. Each act of openness pushes back against the darkness, and with every confession, the grip of secrecy weakens a little more. Over time, the courage to stay honest grows stronger than the fear of exposure. That is how freedom begins, through light, through truth, through a willingness to no longer hide. Science shows how lust hijacks the brain. Every image, every fantasy triggers a dopamine rush. The brain starts craving it like a drug. The more it's fed, the stronger the craving becomes. That's why it feels impossible to stop. But the brain can be rewired. Habits can be changed. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new pathways, proves it. Think of a path in the woods. Walk it every day, it becomes clear and easy. That's how lust works. But stop walking it. Start cutting a new path, and slowly, the old one fades. Change takes time, but it's real. Every time you resist, you weaken the old trail and strengthen the new one. Another truth. Lust grows in boredom. Idle minds are its playground. That's why people often slip at night, or when stressed, or when alone too long. The answer isn't just willpower, it's a replacement. Fill the time. Learn a skill. Work out. Serve someone. Replace the empty space with something meaningful. Triggers matter too. Think about what sparks the fall. It might be a certain app, a late night scroll, a lonely moment. Awareness is power. If you know the trigger, you can cut it off before it grows. Delete the app, block the site, change the routine. Every barrier makes the battle easier. And remember, triggers are not only digital. Sometimes it's a place, a song, even a smell that brings back memories tied to old habits. Learning to spot these subtle signals helps you build a plan before they overwhelm you. For some, it means avoiding certain shows or movies. For others, it's changing the route they take home to skip a tempting stop. Building guardrails around your weak spots doesn't make you weaker, it makes you wiser. Each barrier is not a cage but a shield, and each shield increases your chance to win. But here's the deeper layer. Lust is not only physical, it's spiritual. It distorts love. Real love values people. Lust reduces them to objects. Real love brings peace. Lust leaves regret. When someone understands this difference, the fight gains purpose. They're not just resisting an urge, they're protecting their heart, their mind, and their future. For the faith-driven, Scripture offers strength. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to man, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. That verse reminds believers, temptation is common, but escape is possible. Prayer isn't weakness, it's strategy. It turns the battle from solo to partnered. Community helps too. Alone, the fight feels heavier. With support, it lightens. Many who quit addictions found freedom because they shared their struggle. Find a trusted friend, a mentor, someone who can listen without judgment. Accountability doesn't erase temptation, but it makes it harder to hide in shame. Many victories matter. Many give up because they aim for perfection. They fall once and think it's over. But freedom isn't built in one leap, it's built in steps. One day of victory matters. 1 week matters. Every small win weakens lust's grip. Over time, those wins stack into real freedom. Think about this. Every craving lasts only minutes. Scientists say urges rise, peak, and fade. If you can ride the wave without giving in, you win. Distraction helps here. Cold showers, walks, push-ups, even calling a friend. The goal is to outlast the urge, not erase it instantly. The media world makes the fight harder. Ads, shows, music, all push constant images. But remember, control doesn't come from changing the world, it comes from changing your choices. You can't silence every song or block every image, but you can train your mind not to linger. A glance doesn't have to become a stare. Some people keep journals. Writing when they feel weak helps. It exposes patterns. You may notice the same times, the same moods, the same triggers repeat. A journal turns vague battles into clear maps. And once a map is clear, the traps can be avoided. Journaling also builds awareness of progress. On hard days, looking back at entries reminds you how far you've come. You may notice that cravings, which once lasted an hour, now fade in minutes. You may see how writing down gratitude or positive habits lessens the pull of temptation. Some use journals to write out replacement goals, reading more, exercising, or setting new challenges. Others record uplifting verses or motivational quotes to repeat when weak. Over time, the journal becomes not just a log of failure, but a record of strength. It shows growth, even when the path feels slow. And when shared with a mentor or friend, it also becomes a tool for accountability. Words on paper carry power. They turn invisible struggles into battles you can see, track, and overcome. Others turn to service. Nothing kills selfish desires like giving time and energy to others. Helping someone in need shifts the focus outward. It reminds us that people are not objects, they are lives. Lust shrinks when empathy grows. And then there's vision. People overcome lust when they see the bigger picture. Ask, who do I want to be in 5 years? What kind of relationships do I want? Will lust help me get there, or will it rob me of it? Clear vision makes temptation smaller, because the future feels worth more than the moment. There are real stories of people who overcame. Athletes, leaders, students, everyday workers. They all faced the same trap, but through honesty, strategy, and perseverance, they broke free. Freedom isn't only possible, it's proven. Let's be clear, this won't be easy. Lust has deep roots, but every root can be pulled. Every day you choose differently, the roots weaken. Every choice is a weapon, and weapons, used often, win wars. In the end, the fight against lust is about freedom. Freedom to see people as people. Freedom to build trust in relationships. Freedom to walk without guilt. Freedom to stand in front of a mirror and see not chains, but strength. So, the war isn't out there. It's here, in the mind, in the heart, in the daily choices. But you don't have to lose. You can win. And every battle you fight pushes you closer to victory. Each decision, even the small ones, sets a tone for the future. Choosing to resist once makes the next resistance easier. Choosing discipline builds character, and character builds a life that cannot be shaken. Imagine a house built brick by brick. At first, the walls seem small, but with each day, with each choice, the structure rises. Soon, it becomes strong enough to withstand storms. That's how victories against lust work. They may feel small in the moment, but they stack into strength. Strength leads to confidence. Confidence leads to freedom. And freedom changes everything. The war is fought in silence, but its victories echo in relationships, careers, and personal peace. Remember, one win today is never wasted. It is an investment in tomorrow's freedom. The greatest wars aren't fought on battlefields. They're fought in silence, in thought, in secret. And every time you win, the world inside you changes. So pick up the weapons: honesty, awareness, discipline, faith, community, and fight. Because freedom is worth it, and in 8 minutes, you now know how to begin. If this message stirred something in you, don't just scroll away. Share it with someone who needs strength, and commit today to take one step toward freedom. Your fight can inspire another battle, and together, victory multiplies.